everybody, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me. I'm back. I thank you so much for all your kind prayers and your loving words that you have expressed to my child and my family as we, navigate this pretty challenging season of our journey. I appreciate you all so much, and I'm just glad to be back here and hold space with you, have conversation with you, and continue to learn and grow with you. We are still trying to figure out what works best for us. But I think as for right now, we have a pretty good handle on things or the situation that I shared with you. And so we are just going to continue our conversations for now and, do what's best for us as we continue to journey forward. I hope that you are all honoring yourself. Like, listen, you only have one life to live. Nobody has an extra life in your back pocket. So please be sure that you are using the life that you have for your benefit, that you would enjoy each day, that you would leave each day knowing that you can get it back. And that's why I always encourage you to be intentional with your journey for healing so that you can get to your desired fulfillment. So I have been wanting to do this video, to have this conversation for quite some time now. You see videos or you hear people talk about the narcissist, or that the super empath or the empath is dark, and almost want to liken the two to be the same. But let's be very clear. A narcissist is a narcissist, and an empath or a super empath is just that. They are not the same. And as much as, there's so much blame shifting, and the responsibility always seems to fall on the victim to say that, well, if you weren't this way, if you weren't so codependent, if you would only love yourself so much, you would never encounter a narcissist, or you would be able to resist the narcissist. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. Narcissists are predators. Let's let the blame fall where it may. They are predators. They seek out who they may devour. And if we're going to be honest with each other and we're going to have candid conversation, let's just take it back to the word. Just like the serpent was cunning towards Eve. The serpent twisted God's words, and so she was deceived based on his deception. He was predatory in his nature. Even to Job, he was roaming, looking for what he may devour or who he may devour. And so the narcissist is no different. Listen, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. They're just doing what their father does. The interesting thing is that the Bible tells us that, God will use the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. Well, I do think narcissists are pretty foolish, and the wise are being confounded. Well, yes, these professionals that keep telling everybody that you should love yourselves, that you should have bulletproof boundaries, and you won't encounter a narcissist. This is, first of all, is spiritual warfare. And the enemy is after you. The enemy is after you for a particular reason. And therefore, they try to take you down where it's most effective, or where they feel like, they'll be able to get a greater benefit. Never, ever believe that the narcissist is greater than you, because greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. So first of all, let's just lay down some facts. The narcissist is not you. You are not the narcissist. You are not the same. The narcissist can dream all day to be like a super empath, but they're not. And stop listening to people tell you that because you stand up for yourself, because you speak up for yourself, because you go supernova sometimes and you shut that joker down, that you're the same. You just are not. When it comes to super empaths, they're very sensitive to their surroundings. They're most likely introverts. They're intuitive. And I think for the most part, you have difficulty just not caring about people, because that's your nature, to care for others. And here's the part that really gets me, is that they say that, you have low self-esteem and, poor self-confidence and that type of thing. But what I've seen and what I believe is that you have a very strong core identity. You're honest and you're frank, and you also have a very strong image of self. You have very strong self-image. And a lot of this is, it's different from what they, I'm so tired of they, and we're here to dispel the myths that they give out. It's just not the same. I believe that everybody, whether you are termed by them as a codependent or an empath, we all go through a metamorphosis in life. We're all on a journey. And as we continuously learn, we shed off these false labels that get attached to us. We shed off these false limitations. And sometimes, if we're just honest, we are the ones who, in some instances, put these limitations on ourselves. But through God's grace and His providence, we're able to start shedding these false labels and these false images as we grow in awareness of who we are. This is why the work to get to know yourself, to get to know your Creator and see yourself through the eyes of your Creator is important, because all of those false labels will come off and you begin to step into the fullness of who you are. And this is where they become ineffective, because again, God uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And so you're not the narcissist. You are not the dark narcissist. You're not the dark empath, or whatever they want to call it. But here's the thing. You've got to recognize your own strengths, and you've got to stand up for your strength, even if it's just to yourself, looking in the mirror and telling yourself how much stronger you are than what they say. And they don't need to see your strengths right now in this moment. Something about God that is so good is that sometimes He covers you in situations that people don't always get to see who you truly are. I remember in quite a few instances in life where, I will meet somebody, and this is just, it could be in any setting, even just friendships. And, people will think, oh, okay, this one is naive. She's caring, she's giving, she's kind, she's all these things. But just because you are covered by God, they don't get to see everything that you have. And at the right time and at the right moment, God will just lay it on you to step outside of that, because He uncovers you and they get to see you for who you truly are. And it's in those moments where you are underestimated. They realize that, oh, snap, I can't play with this one. And I underestimated their strength. And so have you ever been in a situation where someone thought that they could use you, someone thought that they could play you, someone thought that you were just like them, or that, you were just asleep? But God uncovers you at the right time, in the right moment, in the right place and situation. And you have no option but to be yourself in the full glory of who you were created to be. And they realize, I should have treated you better. I underestimated you. But at this point, it's too late. The cover is off, the cat's out the bag, and you are who you are. And they see how they misjudged you. They tell you have low self-esteem. They tell you that you're naive and easily taken advantage of. And suddenly they see that I had it all wrong. This person was not that. I should have treated them better. I should have cared about them better. No, all this shoulda, coulda, woulda. We're not interested in that, because we see you for who you are. And so you step aside and move things around and continue to move forward in life. Again, God uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. You're able to detect manipulation, and you're really not gullible like they say that you are, but you're able to listen carefully to what people say. You pay attention to the small details. The detail is in the detail, and that's something that super empaths are able to grasp and lay hold onto, because when it comes to narcs, they do all this talking, and they talk too much, and so they give themselves away in all of this conversation that they may have. But you, the super empath, are able to pick apart what they are saying and call them out on their lies. You're able to say, this doesn't add up to, 1 + 1 is not making 2 in this situation. So you know what? I'm going to call you out on this. And it's not that you're doing this. It's not that the super empath does this to be malicious. Narcissists are malicious in the things that they do. But we can never forget that they emanate from darkness. And so, of course, the darkness cannot understand the light. And that's why in so many instances, they say you are the narcissist, or you may feel like you're the narcissist simply because you are shutting them down, simply because you refuse to tolerate their lies. And here's the thing, you have every right to stand up for yourself. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to experience your emotions. Listen, there is no roadmap on how your emotions should be at any given point in time. That's why it's important that you own them. Own whatever it is that you're feeling and decide who you are for yourself. Stop listening to what they say. They will always get you wrong because they didn't create you. They don't understand the mind that is upon you. And if at all anything, they will work to restrict you from walking in the fullness of who you have been called to be. Continually develop yourself. Get all the information that you can. Learn. Understand that you don't eat at everybody's table because some people poison the food. Understand that God's word is alive and active. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. That is what is going to edify you. Remember, iron sharpens iron. Sit where your soul is being nourished. Sit where your soul can grow. Sit where you can also deposit into other people to help them on their journey. No. The empath is absolutely no match for the narcissist. And this is why they work so hard to make a super empath, or the perception of a super empath, be one and the same as the narcissist. No, light and darkness are totally different, and darkness can never comprehend the light. I thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you have a great evening. Continue to be good to yourself. Until the next video, God bless you.